What happens when America's largest automaker defies the most powerful man in the world? GM's decision to close 5 US factories and cut 14,000 jobs left Trump dumbfounded, but it's what they economic revival. The automotive giant was meant to embody everything the America First doctrine stood for: factories humming with activity, blue-collar workers clocking in for well-paying jobs, and Made in America stamped proudly on vehicles rolling off assembly lines. This vision painted GM as the patriotic corporate hero in Trump's narrative of American industrial resurrection. But corporate This investment represented more than just new product lines. It signaled GM's complete pivot away from the very vision Trump was selling to American voters. While the president championed coal, steel, and traditional auto manufacturing, Barra was positioning GM to dominate in emerging markets that prioritized environmental concerns and technological innovation. The contrast couldn't have been starker. One vision looking backward to reclaim past glory, the other looking forward to an electrified future. The true depth of this divergence became clear as GM's strategy unfolded. Rather than concentrating resources in American factories, the company expanded operations in China and India, investing $1 billion in overseas factory expansions. This wasn't just about finding cheaper labor, it was about positioning GM at the center of the world's fastest growing automotive markets, particularly for electric vehicles. A staggering 40% of GM's production had moved outside American borders, a statistic that directly contradicted everything the America First doctrine stood for. The company had effectively voted with its capital, placing its long-term bets on global markets rather than domestic manufacturing. This wasn't just a company making business decisions, it was a direct challenge to a central pillar of Trump's economic vision. The confrontation between GM and Trump represents something far bigger than a corporate political spat. It crystallizes the fundamental tension between nationalist economic policies and the reality of global capitalism. GM calculated that its future depended on dominating emerging markets and technologies, not on fulfilling political promises about American manufacturing jobs. The company's billion-dollar investments in China and India weren't just about cost-cutting. They were about positioning GM at the forefront of the 21st century global economy. Just before we continue, a quick reminder, over 72% of viewers haven't subscribed. If you want to stay ahead of the curve on geopolitical power moves, economic shocks, and how they affect Canada and the world, make sure to subscribe. We've got some seriously revealing intel coming up in just a moment, including how GM's gamble overseas collided with Trump's tariff war and left Canadian jobs hanging by a thread. You won't want to miss it. Reality and political posturing grew wider by the day. While presidential tweets demanded a return to traditional manufacturing, GM was busy securing its position in markets that would determine automotive supremacy for decades to come. The company recognized what the administration refused to see, that the future belonged to those who could adapt to shifting consumer demands and environmental pressures. But this strategic pivot came with a devastating human cost, particularly in Canada. The closure of the Oshawa assembly plant sent shockwaves through Ontario's automotive heartland. unsold BrightDrop vans filling lots in Detroit while Ford's competing models flew off showroom floors. The BrightDrop program itself faced serious challenges in gaining market traction. With a starting price of $77,900, GM's electric vans were significantly more expensive than competitors. Structuring was just the prelude to a potentially devastating economic storm. While headlines focused on corporate chess moves and presidential tweets, the true threat to Canada has been quietly building behind the scenes. A financial catastrophe so massive it could fundamentally reshape Canadian sovereignty itself. The question isn't just whether Canadian manufacturing far beyond tariff schedules and balance sheets. According to the Eurasia Group's Top Risks 2025 report, Canada is likely to face intensifying demands to increase defense spending and adopt more hawkish policies toward China. The report specifically highlights that Canada will be caught between an assertive Beijing and a unilateral to build and maintain credibility with allies and adversaries alike without a new hard power toolkit, essentially suggesting that Canada's traditional diplomatic approach may be insufficient in this new reality. How might the Canadian government ultimately respond to these pressures? The options are limited and painful. Increased defense spending would strain an already challenged federal budget. Just about factories or EVs. It's a preview of the global economic pressure cooker we're all about to feel. Canada's role in this storm? Unclear, but undeniably vulnerable. For Canadians, sovereignty itself is at stake. The question isn't if this storm will hit, it's whether we've built a strong enough shelter to withstand it. The Trump showdown isn't just about factories or EVs, it's a preview of the global economic pressure cooker we're all about to feel. Canada's role in this storm? Unclear, but undeniably vulnerable. Now we want to hear from you. Do you think Canada should double down on economic independence even if it means confronting Washington? Or is some compromise the only way forward? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next deep dive into the shifting global order. Until next time, stay